8 sessions in the American Library in Paris, and in terms of the Toastmasters, it's a project toward a second high-performance leadership program credit. Colleen has already done the first time the whole Toastmaster path, and is a DTM, so Distinguished Toastmaster, which is the highest level you can reach in Toastmaster, and she has started it again. So let's welcome Colleen. So Colleen, helping teams communicate with confidence, helping teams communicate with confidence, Colleen Shaughnessy-Larsson.
Let me get my composure, because I'd like to take you back and ask you about when you were a teenager. How confident were you? Don't you remember how confident you were? Don't you remember when you were 14 years old and you stood in front of a class, or you stood up in class, and you gave your opinion, asked a question? Maybe everybody laughed at you. Maybe not. But they laughed at me. And it marked me for life. And it still marks me. I am afraid to get up in front of a big convention and state an opinion and ask a question. So I have a vision. Perhaps it is possible to give skills to teenagers, and even younger, on how to communicate with confidence. That's my vision, and that's my project for this year. I was talking to a few women that are members of different associations in Paris a few years ago, and they said, wouldn't it be great if Toastmasters, people from Toastmasters could come and help our kids in our groups learn to do impromptu speaking, like table topics. We all thought it was a great idea. Time, very little, very short. Nobody had time. But this January, I was ready. Helen, from one of those associations, Gifted in France, she was ready. So I know of a learning tool that Toastmasters has, and it's called the Youth Leadership Program. So I ordered the coordinator's guidebook, I ordered the student workbooks, just in case we could get this off the ground. But I couldn't do it alone. So I sent out an email to all the Anglo Toastmaster clubs in Paris, to the officers, and I asked them to share it with their members and ask 2 questions. Would you like to see or hear a teenager speak with confidence? And the second question I asked, how was your experience growing up and speaking in front of a high school group? I now have a committee. Beatrice, Sylvia, Claudia, Christelle. They responded. They've been working with me. They've been my guiding light since May. We've been working on this project. And then Helen put me in touch with Celeste. Celeste is at the American Library in Paris, who happens to also be the youth activities manager at the American Library. We now have a free venue for our sessions. Then Beatrice decided to work on this for her Advanced Communicator Gold Award as another part of Toastmasters. Because I said, why not? She said, okay. So she's been contacting volunteers at other Toastmasters clubs who will come to the sessions. And do you know that possibility is now a reality? October 7th is our first session. And I know this program will be successful. Why? Because I've had personal contact with other people who have done the program. This is a worldwide program. So I've been talking to Sweden, Australia, Belgium, using their examples, and Portugal, using their examples. And we've been sharing videos. I know it'll be successful because they've done it for the past 3 years. They're doing it again this year, and they will continue because it becomes so overwhelming, it's a tidal wave that takes over. And what are these sessions like? There's 8 sessions. They have an agenda. By the second session, one of the students who's been elected as the president for 4 sessions will lead the meetings. There will be speeches, evaluations, table topics, and each session has a group discussion using parliamentary procedure. Just imagine, 8 sessions for these kids, and March 18th will be their last session. And then we'll have a party with awards, whatever. I am very excited about this personally because I said it's been done in other countries. This is the first time in Paris, the first time in France. This is a pilot program. Whatever happens, happens. We're going to make it happen. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. And if you have a teenager at home, if you know somebody with a teenager, come and see me. Or go to our website, our Toastmasters 75 website, Youth Leadership Program. There's a page, application, videos, downloads, everything you need. Because as Toastmasters, you never know. One of these days, it could be like me. Someone's going to come up and ask you, how do you help a teenager speak on their feet in front of a group? And you know what? You'll be able to reply, have I got a program for you?